Hey, this is Jared with NVIDIA Cloud Accelerator. One of our missions is to make sure that NCPs that need help can get up and running with their NVIDIA hardware quickly. Today, I'm here with Neil from Mirantis. He's going to walk us through how RunAI helps them with that.
Everybody, I'm Neil. I'm just going to talk for a minute about RunAI. We allow you to have a one-click deployment of our GB200 services and other NVIDIA hardware like RTX 6000 Pros. We're able to configure the system all the way from the software through the operating system down through the hardware itself, including the BlueField cards and the networking system behind it. We have full automation that allows you as a customer to be able to deliver services to your end users, whether it's from GPUs, CPUs, or in this case, a really fantastic machine by NVIDIA. We have consistent, secure operations. So when it comes to that day two work, when you're looking to run this system after you've deployed it, we have the ability to create template chains that allow you to upgrade, downgrade, and roll forward your software through our system. And finally, we have ready to consume services on demand. So if you're ready to give your customers workload availability today, you can do that by just loading our software and deploying it. What does that look like? Well, today I'm going to show you an 18-node GB200. And what we're going to do is we're going to create some templates that allow you to select nodes out of that 18-node selection. And we're going to be able to put our system on it and your software. So at the end of the day, what you're going to get is you're going to get Slurm or RunAI or whatever the software that you've developed templates for, and you can provide that to your customers. That's an end user experience. Let's take a look at that demo. All right, so what we're looking at are the servers. So you can see these are the 18 nodes. You'll notice it says Neoverse V2. This is the Grace, part of the Grace architecture, the Grace Blackwell architecture. And it's an ARM processor. You can see there are 4 GB200s attached with it. And if I look at the view details, you'll see that this is NVLink-connected. So we can also do InfiniBand and Rocky's coming, but the system we have today is NCX connected. What can you do with this? Well, you can set up a template for different cluster types. So here I've got a couple of 2-node clusters. It's going to look into this pool of 18 nodes, pick the 2 right ones, and you can combine this with CPU nodes for the front end of the workload and allow your customers to be able to deploy these capabilities right away. You'll notice I've got a little warning up here. It says one of these templates is using a deprecated Kubernetes version. Some customers need to stay on a particular Kubernetes API version, or you might find yourself with old templates. Our system helps you locate those so you can maintain secure operations, and you can update it with your customer's help, or you can update it directly with our system. But a node by itself isn't useful. You need some applications to run on it. We have service templates. And in this example, in my demo environment, I have both Slurm, which is a batch system allowing you to do training, as well as RunAI, which allows you to support inference, as well as Jupyter notebooks as a service. You can deploy those directly as an application, as we'll see in a moment, or you can combine them together with the cluster type to create what we call stacks. These are your design patterns that are implemented with our validated templates that allow you to connect both those nodes that you've selected with the software that you've chosen so that you know every time you implement another cluster, every time you create that bare metal connection with NVLink behind it, that it will work consistently with a consistent user experience across the deployment. Let's go ahead and do that. So if I go to clusters, you're going to see 2 clusters I have running, but let's go ahead and create one together. So this simple form will take care of all the work behind the scenes. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a cluster. We're going to name this GTC RunAI 2. We're going to hint at least that it's going to run RunAI. We're going to give it a good cluster name. We'll call it NVIDIA GTC RunAI 2. And give it, this is fast. We're going to just give it a quick description that people can check out later. Now, you've got a couple of choices when you do this. You saw those cluster configurations. I could just pick one of the clusters. So this would be looking for 2 nodes at a pool of 18. And I could just pick the software I wanted. Whatever it is, I could pick it out of this application list that I created earlier. Or I can just pick that stack directly out. So if I want RunAI with those 2 nodes, and I know I want it to work in a consistent way, I can choose that. You'll notice it now locks in the application layer. So those will automatically be deployed. Our system is multi-tenant all the way from the software, hardware, through the BlueField card, and the network behind it. So you can deploy through tenants. We call them organizations. That's the small print you see here. And then each one of those tenants or organizations have projects. This allows you to divide inside of a single customer experience and create security boundaries that are usable by your customers. So I'm going to pick NVIDIA GTC. If you have multiple data centers or multiple availability zones, I can pick amongst those. So I can choose to deploy in one or more locations. I'm going to pick the NVIDIA lab for this particular deployment. And I can override the Kubernetes version in my template. So some customers might have a need for the latest API. I can choose that here. And now I've got a complete working system. I've got nodes that are going to be picked out of this pool. They're going to get a pre-flight check to make sure they're available and they'll get deployed. I've got the software I want to run on it right here. And I've got the button you've all been waiting for, the create cluster button. So I'm going to press this button and then the cluster is created successfully. What do I see? Provisioning. So in minutes, this cluster behind the scenes is going to have orchestration that takes care of not just the application layer, not just the operating system layer, but it's going to configure the hardware. It's going to configure the Bluefield cards for north-south. It's going to configure the NVLink between the nodes. And it's also going to allow the outbound network to the customer to be able to configure and access this service. So Jared, that's what we're showing here today at GTC.
That is awesome. Thanks, Neil. You can see how this is going to help NCPs around the world get up and running with NVIDIA AI quickly. Check out the demo later on. You can see everything that happens as part of this. NVIDIA, Mirantis, better together.
Thanks, everybody.